What was your biggest treat yourself? Regret. I just passed my exams in university, so decided to treat myself to some Ben & Jerry's. I woke up covered in hives, vomiting, and burning up. Apparently I had an unknown allergy. It was the worst week of my life. Edit. For those curious, the allergist didn't find anything common that I was allergic to. This was over a decade ago and I've never had issues since. It may well have been a fluke or something else. I bought a pair of quad roller skates on a whim, meaning that I did no research. Turns out there is quite a bit of intricacy with skates. I had purchased a pair meant for speed, meant for indoor rinks. My intended use was for outdoor skating. This resulted in falling on my ass a million times outside and having zero control on my newly paved road. After buying softer wheels meant for outdoors. Wow, it's a huge difference. I should have done some research and saved myself a good chunk of money. I regret the spur-of-the-moment purchase, but I am glad that I got the skates and new wheels. Edit. I purchased a second-hand pair of Rock GT50s from someone in town since the closest storefront with stock was over an hour away. It looks comparable to images online, so I assume there were no modifications. I swapped the 95A wheels for a set of 78A. Thought, I've never been on a cruise. I want to go on a cruise now. So booked a 2-week Caribbean cruise. In a suite, with the wife, who, on arrival, decided she didn't like me anymore and spent 2 weeks avoiding me. So I spent 2 weeks on my own on this bloody ship. We're divorced now. A pair of Louboutins. Not comfortable. The sole wears away incredibly quickly. Heels easily get scraped on grates. I lived somewhere with lots of grates. I once bought a good quality regulation pool table, 8 feet by 44 inches, with all the accessories for about $4,000. But after moving to a new location, I regretted the purchase because there was no room for it, other than to give up the dining room and replace the dining room chandelier with the billiards light fixture. Bought a pair of used snowmobiles for $2,000. Had them for 2 years. First year we both got the flu the 1 week the snowmobile trails were open, so never used them. Second year my wife was pregnant, so we decided to sell them. Ends up one no longer wants to start and the other one runs but now has issues. Ended up selling them for $500. Never once used them besides unloading them from the trailer when we bought them. I spent around £300 on all the Talisman board games and a further £200 on a custom-made box to keep them all in, largely due to COVID. I've played them once. All-you-can-eat sushi bar. Did the math on how much sushi I had to eat to save money from just buying the rolls individually. I hit my goal, but at what cost? I was trying not to throw up for the whole drive home, and spent the rest of the day in bed clutching my stomach and rethinking my life. Bought a telescope, but then I needed a camera to take pics. Then I needed a camera and smaller scope to guide it. Then I needed a better, more expensive mount. Then I needed another camera to help set up the more expensive mount. Then I needed cases and storage for this stuff. And another camera, and a star tracker. Then all of a sudden I have thousands in gear that I've used exactly never because it's freezing and cloudy most of the good viewing season anyways. Bought a PS3 when it came out and had to return it to pay rent. Bought a BMW 135i when I already had a perfectly good Nissan 350Z that was paid off. I was young and dumb and had just started making serious money for the first time in my life. So when I looked at that monthly payment I said, this is fine. I can totally make this. Not taking into account all of the other bills that can suddenly crop up. One of the worst decisions I ever made. Easily. ate decadently to reward myself for exercising, completely undermining my efforts to get in shape. Bought a sandwich after work, nearly choked on it. Just binge eating. I've been unemployed for over a year now, and hadn't bought anything nice for myself in months. While buying groceries, I saw some pomegranates, and I decided I deserved a treat. I found the biggest one in the pile. Looked great, and bought it. When I cracked that fucker open that night, it was rotten inside, with no sign it had gone bad on the outside. I actually cried, because I felt I had wasted precious money I shouldn't have. Edit. To anyone wishing to buy me a replacement pomegranate, please consider donating that money to a local food bank in your area instead. I appreciate the offers, but I'd feel bad accepting money, especially with so many different people asking. I bought a laptop from Razer. Worst decision ever. Already had to send it back to them once. Now it's just out of warranty and having more problems. Never again. Getting the Sirius XM deal. $30 per 6mo. For my car since when I do drive, it's cross-state. And then forgetting to cancel, threatened to cancel. So I got charged $120 for the next 6 months. Pretty much everything I impulse bought while unemployed during quarantine. Went to Vegas and spent more money than I had intended. Had a blast, but flash forward a month later I had nothing to pay my car payment, and in Florida if you are late 1 month they can repo your car. They did. I caught myself, but I was about to buy a 3080 off eBay for about $800. It turns out it was just a picture of it and the goal was to get bots to buy it. But I didn't read the description and almost bought it. Maybe I am a bot. After years of wanting to experiment with my hair, I finally convinced myself that dyeing my long healthy brown hair purple was the best way to treat myself. I was originally given a price of $150 give or take depending on amount of dye used. Anyway, when she was done styling, I was happy and it looked pretty. I got to the counter and the total comes to $500. Now, I'm not a confrontational person. Also, I was young and kind of stupid to not argue with them. So I just paid, left a $50 mandatory gratuity and left. I know. For the next 2 weeks everything that came in contact with my hair was stained purple. Every time I washed my hair it bled purple. My shower was stained. The skin on my back, pillowcase, sheets, the back of my shirts, purple. The worst part was that my long beautiful healthy brown hair was a heaping faded broken pile of straw after those 2 weeks. So I went out and bought a box dye similar to my own color. Dyed my hair back and swore off ever dyeing my hair ever again. Edit. Deleted extra words.